Hi, it's Karen here, and I'm just going to make a quick video, really at the request of a lovely lady in the Mystified Facebook group. I shared this card today as one of the cards I've made for this month's Clearly Besotted release, and it's as a little sneak peek of this set called Accent It. Does come with dies. There's little idea of what you can do with the different accents, and I've used this stamp with this flower stamp, and I've, using the MISTI, created this kind of background pattern, and it's hard to describe how you do it, so it's easier to show you how to do it. Very difficult to get, if you can see how lined up it is, how perfect it is. You couldn't do that by eye, not very easily, and you'd probably, if you did eventually get it done, I dare say there'd be several discarded pieces of card in the bin beside you to get this result in the end. So it makes it, with the MISTI, it makes it quite easy. Now, I mentioned today when I posted this card that I used a piece of plastic template. Now, Maureen Wong, who is quite active in that forum, in that Facebook group, she shared a really useful tip for making these templates. So I bought just off Amazon here in the UK, but obviously in the US you get something equivalent. It's this quilter's template plastic. In this set you've got 4 gridded sheets and 2 plain. So the one I'm using today is just one of the plain pieces cut down, and I've also got, you know, my standard templates, so an A2 size and a 4 by 5 1/4 size. You know, just they're just useful to have to place things, any little scraps. It doesn't really matter for the purposes of this card. Actually, the size doesn't matter hugely, because you'll see what I'll be using it for in a second. So this card, when the pattern came together, it reminded me of like an Orla Keeley design, but obviously I don't think she would use these colours particularly. I don't know what it is about it, but you could use it either way, but that's the kind of feel I got for it. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I've got some other ink pads together that I think are a little bit more Orla Keeley inspired. These are more the colours that I think you would find in her design. So I thought, just to kind of vary it up a little bit, I'd change the colours here. So started with, I'm not going to complete the whole card. You don't need to see the whole card, because there's the card, and if you want to complete that card, then of course you can do that, but so you don't need to see me assemble the whole thing. The purposes of this is just to show you the way I've lined up the stamp. I have a bit of a thing with the magnets. You don't need 4 magnets, but I just keep them on there most of the time. But to stop, oh, ouch, to stop. Yeah, that's a thing, if you put them too close together, they nip you. So you always start obviously with the card. I'm using cream card. I think that just goes better with these shades. But you want to just have your card in place. Where the template comes in is when you'll be trying to line this particular stamp up and get it in line. That's I haven't described that very well. So basically, this is the stamp. This is like, it reminds me of like a fern or something like that. But this is a stamp I've used. Any of these designs come, you know, if you wanted to use that one or that one, you could do the exact same. The idea is the same, but I'll just carry on with this one, as this is the one I used before. Now, obviously this is, I've measured this in centimetres rather than inches. So this measures 12 centimetres down this way, and 8.5, if I remember correctly, up that way. But basically you want to find the centre of this, so I'll just quickly do that using the centimetre ruler. And there, it's just short of 12 actually, so call it about there. Turn it the right way. And that's roughly where you want to just start in the middle, really. Okay, always butt it up, make sure that it's exactly where you want it to be, and don't particularly want it to be touching the edge, but that's roughly in the middle where I want that to be. So I want to lift that, and at this point I want to, problem with these templates, you can hardly see them, I want to make myself first of all stamp onto this plastic template so I can see where I'm going. So I'll just use one of the colours, the bamboo colour, one of the newer colours from Avriel. Absolutely gorgeous colour. Okay, and remember I'm stamping this onto the plastic template at the moment, so we have that there now, and that's going to come in useful in a minute. That'll hopefully dry off just a little bit as we go along. So if I start with my green, stamp that. I always like to do 2 stamps now, just because I can with the MISTI, so I've got into this kind of habit now where I just like that solid, clean stamp that you get doing it twice. No more patchy, half missing designs. Okay, now this is the bit where Victoria on the Facebook group, where she needed the explanation, or she wasn't quite clear what I was trying to say, and I didn't explain it all that well. But as you can see, that lines up exactly over where I want to be. Okay, so what I want to do is to have the next stamp lined up there. Okay, so by keeping that there, what I do is I can move that along. Sorry, move the paper along. I've said that the wrong way round, but you can see where I'm coming from. You put always keep that in the bottom, because that stamp is never going to move. It's your paper that you want to move. So we move that along like that. Because this is in inches, I'm not using the grid. I'm doing this really by eye. Okay, so that's where we want the paper to be. We take this off. I'm going to use my second colour. I could do all my green ones at once and then go back and do my second colour, but I do that when I turn it round because it's easier then, but I'm going to just do it this way for now. Okay. Again, double stamp because I can. Okay, now the next one, obviously, move that again. I'm going to go back. In fact, what I'll do to stamp, just to make it easier on myself, I will move the paper this way this time. Just as long as you keep that template where it is. Doesn't matter if the paper goes over the edge there. Just hold that in place with your magnet, and with doing the orange one again. And you can see that you're getting your pattern building up just as you want it. Okay, so once again, back to where we started, put the template on. We're going to go back and do the greens. So that's where your stamp is going to be. Make sure that that's in the corner. Okay, so now we're back to green. Give that a little clean off. If I can cross-contaminate the colours, it's only because I'm rushing to show you this. I'll try not to. But if I do, it's just me not cleaning off my stamp in between well enough. Okay, so again, And you can see it does take a little bit of time, but you won't waste any paper or any half done cards. It just won't happen. You don't waste anything. You just take your time. You don't get frustrated. It just works. It just does exactly what you hope it will do. Oops, almost had a disaster there, but no, disaster will be averted because I will be lining that up exactly again. I want to double stamp that, which I do because it's not quite as solid as the other ones, and I want to be able to handle that. So perfectly lined up, so even when you do have a little oopsie like I did just there, you can I must have ink on my hand somewhere. I've got a naughty little bit of pink there, and I've no idea where that's come from because I'm not even using pink. Okay, so again we'll go to keep that in there. That's showing us where that's going to be. That's where I want it. Look a bit further out. Just keep that in place with these magnets. Give it another little clean because we're back to the orange. And again. And you get the idea. I'll pause here and restart when I've finished this, and I'll show you just what to do to reverse it and just to add the flower to the centre. So I'm just going to pause. Yeah. Okay, I'm back, and so I've completed my first row. I mean, you could use the card either way, but anyway. So want to do the second one now, and same principle as before, just double check that it is centre. Now here it's probably something to do with physics, but that does not completely line up with that, so we just have to make sure that our starting point is in the middle. And again, I'm just doing this by eye. I'm not getting any rulers out or anything like that. I just want this to be completely centred. That looks about right, so just slightly off. And again, starting with green. And that is lined up perfectly. Now, on this side, it's a bit easier to do all your greens and then all your oranges, because you can see exactly where you want it to be. So again, keep your template in, just keep it kind of butted in and put your paper down, and you can line that up quite easily. If you don't trust your eye, then you might want to get rulers out and things like that. I trust my eye mostly, and certainly I'm not so fussy that I'm going to take a ruler to that. If somebody gave me this card and it wasn't 100% absolutely minutely lined up, I'm not going to throw it back in their faces. I'm going to say thank you very much, that's a lovely card. So get a little bit of perspective. It's only a card. I'll probably get shot for saying that in a card making forum. It's only a card. But it is, isn't it? It's just a piece of card. It's the sentiment behind it that matters, not whether or not there's a tiny, minute, teeny weeny little misalignment anywhere, because it really doesn't matter. It's going to look beautiful. Okay, so as I say, the second row is quicker because you can do all your one colour and then clean off it rather than clean off. There probably is an easy way to do it like this, on the first row, but I don't know. I haven't thought of it. So just keep making sure your template is butted in. That looks good. Just hold it down with your magnet. That magnet actually took a tiny bit of my nail off earlier on when it nipped me, which I'm cross about. Silly magnets. So just watch them. They're naughty. Okay, and then the last of the green ones, about there, looks right to me. Now I'm using pigment inks here, so you do have to kind of watch with these. I love pigment inks because I love that they don't stain my stamps. I love the solid colour that you get, and what you see is what you get. I do love dye inks as well. I have a huge array of dye inks, but with pigment inks, as soon as you stamp, you know what you've got. There's no kind of suck it and see if it's going to even out and it's going to, I mean, there's a place for every kind of ink, but I do particularly like these ones. Okay, so now we've cleaned off the green and we can go on and carry on with the orange. I'm sorry if I'm wittering on. I know Maureen got told off on one of her videos in the comments section for wittering on, or I can't remember what the exact word was that the person used, but it was incredibly rude. And she wasn't wittering on. I think she's incredibly informative, Maureen is. Sorry, I'm doing that naughty thing again, aren't I? We don't want to do that. We're moving the paper, not the template. So yes, so if that same person is watching this, I make no apologies for wittering on about nonsense and making you bored. If you're bored, you don't have to watch it. Maureen, I think your videos are brilliant. If no one has seen them, go to Maureen Wong. Just search Maureen Wong. I'm sorry, Maureen, I don't know. I think it's just under Maureen Wong on YouTube. But she takes the time to make some really, really good videos. It was her that shows the video with the templates, the plastic templates, her masking video. I've watched it about 10 times, where she does the little, it's the little cupcake one with the little bunny rabbit. If I don't pay attention, I'm going to end up picking up the wrong ink pad here. I've done that before. But I'm getting a lot quicker now, as you can see, as you move along. Things do speed up a bit. And your pattern does come together. I understand if you get bored now, you've seen what you want to see, and you want to go, that's fine. Bye-bye. But if you want to see it to the end, I am going to, because I'm not editing this, I'm just doing this as a quick video, she says, 25 minutes later. But because I don't intend to do a voiceover, that's why I won't be speeding up, because otherwise it won't sound very good. Although I could detach the audio, couldn't I? That's a thing I could do. Detach the audio, speed it up and then reattach the audio. I could do that. Sorry. Okay, so as you can see, we have our lined up design. There's the original and there's the second version. Now to do the flower, I won't show all the flowers because you do get the idea, but it's the same thing. We're done with our I'm calling it fern. I don't know, it's not a fern, but That's what it's now going to be called. And in the original design I used this flower. So again, same principle as before. You want to get your paper, we'll start there. Now my head might get in now because I'm trying to get this lined up where I want it. That looks about right, but we shall test it. Use the same thing, but we can clean off that ink from there. Okay, so that's in there. Let's see what happens here. Get the lids back on. I'm going to go for this colour. And let's see if it's where I want it. Not quite. Not quite. It's a little bit too far over, as you can see. So, rather than what I shall do is try and realign it again. So I want the paper to stay butted up against that side. Trying to just now let's see if that works. Hopefully it will. Perfect. Okay. So off we go again. This bit's a bit quicker. Okay, back in with the template. And we're doing alternate. I'll just do 3 of these, because then you do definitely get the idea now. Did I double stamp that one? I don't know if I did. I'm going to have to go back and do that one again. Because it does not look right. Anyway, I'm not going to go on anymore and bore you, but that's the idea. So Victoria, I hope this is what you were hoping for. There's the original, there's another version, and you get the idea. Thank you for watching. Hope I haven't bored you silly. Bye!